It's been a very long time since I've made a video. If you've been watching the channel, thanks. If you've been watching it, noticing it's been about a year, a little over a year since I've actually made a video on anything, really. And I'll go over that with you guys. I just have been really super busy with life in general. But I want to kind of catch you guys up to speed what I've been doing, where the shop's at, and kind of where I'm at in general. Because I think there's a few of you that do watch. And if you have been watching, you've been noticing that I've been actually uploading short form in the shorts of things I've been doing over this time period, here and there. I haven't uploaded everything I've done, but I've uploaded just a little bit here and there to keep the channel kind of chugging along a little bit. I know it's not much, it's probably nothing to a lot of people, but I've been trying to at least give people a little bit of insight of what the stuff I have been doing, here and there, but just not the full-blown aspect of it. So I appreciate you guys that have been staying in, and actually watching things. I've gotten comments from people over these months. Try to get to all you guys, answering questions, things like that. But to say the least, I have had a lot of free time, even though I'm very busy. I've kind of mentioned before, but I just had a kid. He just turned 1 not too long ago, so that is one of my biggest reasons for being away from doing anything as far as videos, or actually, honestly, I haven't been out in the shop that much. I've gone to work every day, obviously, that's my full-time job, but actually being out here in the shop and getting to work on things, I have not. I mean, I've probably been out in the shop maybe for a total of maybe 5 to 10 hours over this course of the year that I've been absent making videos. I just haven't had any free time really to come out here. And if you have kids, you understand what I'm talking about, especially when they're really, really young and just being born. You kind of want to be there at every aspect of their life because you're the one that they're depending on. So I've been doing mostly pretty much all of that. And then a little bit of stuff here and there. I've tried to keep my work, my side work, let's call it side work because that's what it is now. My side work, I've been trying to keep it to small projects only because I don't have time to do a full-blown car or paint job or whatever. So I've been trying to stick to like motorcycles, helmets, if somebody wants a panel or something like that, or I did a tailgate. You guys probably saw that. I think that was the last video I actually posted. A full series of was airbrushing the tailgate on a Ford F-150 the guy was rebuilding. I think that was the last actual video that I did out here in the shop as far as like custom stuff goes and custom painting. But there's also other reasons why I have not uploaded videos. I've said this many times in the past. If you've watched my videos before, I've been doing YouTube here for what, a couple years now, I think. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't really go back and look, but I think it's been at least 2 years. And I've said it in my videos in the past. I am not doing this to get big. I don't do these videos to get monetized. I don't do it for any type of money. I do it because I want to share information with people that may be interested in doing this stuff, or maybe you're doing it on the side already and you can learn a little bit of stuff here and there, because I've been doing this stuff for very, very long. And I've pretty much dabbled in everything. But as far as paint wise, like, I know my stuff for the most part. There are some things that I have to figure out also because, in this industry, things change all the time. So with me working full time, I am constantly getting that information every single day, if not every single week, from manufacturers, from painting cars. I mean, I paint cars every single day, guys. Like, every single day I am painting at least 1 or 2 cars. So I have that knowledge that I can share with everybody. That's why I do these videos, because there are a lot of people out there, and I've said this in the past too, There's a lot of people out there that are making videos just to make videos, and a lot of it, the information is skewed. It's not correct. They are doing it just for the views. So they will say, they will put a tagline. They'll do any type of video format that they can to get as many views as possible, and with that, it leads to bad information being spread throughout the industry, and it's getting pretty bad here lately. So that's why I do not want to be kind of, um, I guess, in shorter terms, I don't want to be part of the influencer realm of things. I don't want to be a social media influencer, even though this is kind of what I am doing since I'm sharing information and videos with everybody. But I do not want to be I don't want to be labeled as an influencer. I'm a painter. I've been a painter. I do collision as a full time job, and I do custom stuff on the side. And I've got my own shop in my house, but I lean this channel more towards the custom stuff because that's the more interesting things people are willing to learn and wanting to get into. The collision side, it's not as, I wouldn't say it's not as fun, but it's just not as in depth as the custom stuff. The custom stuff is obviously more fun, but the collision side is just more cut and dry. Like you're just doing, you're either painting something one color, or you might get a car here and there that might have a two-tone or whatever. You got to paint a couple colors, but it's just base coat and clear coat. So it's nothing really interesting. Even though I do share some of that stuff because I think it's a it's the fundamentals of this industry. The collision side will provide you all the fundamentals, so I will kind of sprinkle that in here and there as I choose to do so. But I am not trying to do this full time. I'm not trying to get big by any means. I could care less about the money part of it. I am just wanting to actually spread the correct information as good as I can. I'm not that great being on camera, obviously. I don't do this full time, so hang in there with me about that. I don't edit my videos. That's another thing. I'm not wanting to edit my videos that way they come across, more interesting people where they'll click on it, or do fake taglines where you'll click on the video. I am cutthroat. I am straight to the point. I don't do any of that filler BS. I put it out there the way it is because that's what it is. If you're wanting to get in this stuff, I'm going to tell you how it is, the way it is, and it's not going to be, it's not going to be glamorized by any means. But the social media thing has just gotten out of control, I think, especially with the automotive industry, not just with the auto body and the painting side of it, but just as a whole. You got people coming into it that, like I said, they want to spread misinformation by doing whatever they want, and saying that it's the correct way, and bashing the people that are trying to do the correct way just because either whether it be they're jealous or because their price is thousands of dollars more than what this other guy's willing to do or company's willing to do. It's a mess right now, and I try not to get into it, but there are things that I try to set people straight because it's just somebody's got to stop. Somebody's got to cut in and stop them, right? This stuff can't go on too much longer. They're going to, burn themselves out because they're just doing it to get money and to get views. Those people are not the true, painters. They're just the people that are doing it just to do it. And you can tell in the videos they're doing it just to do it. They don't really have the right equipment. They don't have the right space. They just don't have anything correct about them to do it right. So you can tell pretty well in the videos and the people that follow them, the comment and all that stuff. So I just try to stay away from that stuff as good as possible. But there is got to be a certain time to where somebody's got to step in and set them straight for the most part, because it is kind of, it's putting things in people's minds as far as customers go that think that stuff needs to be done a certain way because this other guy's doing it. And he's got a big following, and it's just, our brains are so warped now because of social media. I think, in my opinion, I don't want to go far down this rabbit hole, but I think social media has ruined so many people's mindsets that they're going to believe somebody that has more views, that has a bigger following than somebody that doesn't. Even though that other person that doesn't have that big channel or those views um, is doing the correct thing and supplying the right information and the right knowledge, the other guy could be, just BSing his way through everything and doing things all wrong, but he's going to get that higher view count, and those people are going to be following that person rather than the person with the lower view count. If you get what I'm saying, I don't want to go down the hole. It's a big thing. I just don't want to be part of it. I kind of just stay in my own lane. I'm in a really small area, small town out in the country, doing my own thing. I've been doing this for over 20 years, 22 years to be exact. I've messed a lot of things up myself. I continue to mess things up, but the differences between me and somebody else that doesn't know what they're doing is I can fix everything that I screw up right then and there. I don't have to rely on somebody else. I know what to do exactly to fix it if I do screw something up. And I usually try to show all that stuff. Like I said, I don't edit my videos. It is what it is. I am pretty well copy and paste as far as my videos go. I don't edit them. I don't try to manipulate anything. I want to show you guys the way it is. I want to show it raw. So that's where my head's at. Um, so if you see some videos posted here and there, I'm not going to be really on a schedule. I will say that. I'm not trying to be on a schedule because I'm not trying to pump videos out just to pump videos out. And that's another thing wrong with this social media stuff and YouTube and all that crap is people make videos just to make a video. That way they can get views. That's the way it is right now because there's so many people doing it. And these bigger channels, they will do anything to a car just to get views, just to get that money, get that revenue in, because they have to, because they're the ones doing it full time. So I'm not like that. I'm not going to try to set something straight and try to hit a goal or anything like that. You guys will just see videos as you see them. I'm going to try to get out more often. I've got so much things that have changed, and I'm going to walk you through everything within this past 12 to 13, 14 months here. I mean, there are big changes. Obviously, having a kid is probably the biggest change you'll have in your life at all, but um, as far as being a new dad, because this is our first kid, um, it's probably the best thing. I mean, I have more fun messing with him than I would on any of the stuff out here. As far as like painting or modifying cars or working on cars in general, it's just when you have your first kid, there's something in your brain that just gets rewired, and it just your whole life just shifts for the better. It's for the better, and everybody will tell you that. I was one of those people that was kind of like indifferent to having a kid, and I wasn't really pushing to have a kid, but I always knew I wanted to at least have one, um, just to see what that experience is like, because that's why we're alive, right? We're alive to have these experiences, have these moments, and the ultimate goal is to create a family and have a family, right? And my whole mindset has shifted towards that now, rather than coming out here and working and just killing myself trying to get cars built that most of you will probably never see in person. Let's be honest, right? You'll see the videos, but will you ever see it in person? Probably not, because a lot of you guys are out of state. A lot of people, unless you know me locally, you'll see them obviously because I do drive my stuff, and the people that I do work for, they drive their stuff. You might see them at shows, but to be honest, you will never see this stuff um, unless I make a video about it, right? So it's just one thing, when all this stuff starts happening in your life, like you start realizing like what is actually important and what is going to be the future. If you're building a business, that's where it gets really, really hard when you start having kids, is because you got to kind of pick and choose as a business. You obviously want to make sure that is good and before you start having kids and things like that. But it is really, really, really hard. I do not do this as a business anymore. I actually got rid of it as a business. It's more just a hobby now. So I am not taking on big projects. Like I said, I don't need to. I make a really, really good living painting cars for a living. So that is what I am focused on right now is my family, my son, make sure he grows up right, make sure He's getting to the point of where he's walking a little bit right now. So I'm excited for those times where I can show him things and he can help me do certain things out here in the shop. But I'm not going to force it on him. And I'm not going to force him on, to make videos with me. I'm not going to do any of that. It's all going to be what he wants to do. So you'll just have to sit with me because videos will come out as they come out, as I choose to do them. It's not going to be a set schedule. And like I said, my whole life has shifted and it's just for the better. It's nothing against anybody or anybody else. It's just the way that, like I said, it just happens. If you're a decent human, like you're going to change your priorities for your kids, and that's the whole point of having kids, right? Is to give all of you to them. So that's why I am focusing on right now. But like I said, I do have a lot of updates other than that. Sorry for the rambling, but I want to show you guys some of the updates. I want to talk about some of them. One of the big things that we just got recently done a few weeks ago was we got our whole driveway asphalted. That was the biggest drawback from having customers come out here because our driveway was just pretty much loose gravel everywhere, and then just dirt and mud, and then grass and weeds growing up in it. If you ever been to like Florida, and you go on the back roads and you see their houses, they don't really have driveways; they just have like sand and grass and stuff building up. That's kind of how our house was. Um, but so we got all that fixed, paid to have all that asphalted, so it looks really, really good. It is dark right now, so I won't show you that. But it does change everything as far as the look of the shop on the outside. And I added it onto it so I can actually have cars parked outside, like customers' vehicles, things like that. It just looks more professional. And it makes the house and the property look a lot better. So I'm really glad I got that done. It was really expensive, but I have been saving up for a long time for that. And another thing is, I ended up buying another car. Not really anything special, but I'll show it to you guys. Just show it to you. It's just a winter car. Because what I was driving was my wife's old 2016 Corolla. It was lowered at one point. It's got like a lip body kit on it and aftermarket wheels. And in the wintertime, it's not good. We live out in the country and we get a ton of snow. And last year, having a kid and all the ice we got, I was like, man, this isn't worth the stress. I just need to get something that's going to be safe for everybody. My wife's already got an SUV. She drives that. It's a monster in the snow. So I made sure she was taken care of last year already before he was born. But this time around, I got me something. That way I can, not worry so much about whether if we're going to get 5 inches of snow or 10 inches or ice or anything like that. I know that I'll be good in this new car. That way I don't have to worry about anything, getting to him on time or leaving work on time or getting stranded or getting kicked off the road somewhere with him with me. I know that we'll always be safe in this, so I'll show you guys. End up getting a Jeep, nothing special. It is all blacked out. It's really nice. It's 21. It's got really super low miles for 21. It's got like the SRT body package on it. Everything but the front bumper. The front bumpers on the SRT ones are a little bit different. They've got like the bottom lip and the grills and stuff are different on the SRT, but it's got like the SRT hood, the body moldings, all that stuff. Everything's blacked out just like the SRT version is. This is just a regular V6, but it is all blacked out and I love it. It rides really nice compared to that little Corolla. So yeah, that's the new car that I bought a couple weeks. I mean, it's only been here for a week and a half, I bet. It hasn't been here long, so I've just recently got this. Got for a good deal, so I couldn't pass it up with being low mileage and being taken care of by an older person. That's the thing, is if you guys are willing or wanting to buy a car, looking for cars are stupid expensive right now. I don't suggest buying brand new because you take so much of a hit, and there's a lot of dealers out there that are just trying to screw you over. That way they can pad their pockets. is to get a used vehicle and make sure you go over the Carfax and find out how they got it, because a lot of people selling cars, dealers and things like that, they get everything from the auction now. So just read the Carfax thoroughly, double check everything, make sure the maintenance and all that stuff was done. But get a car from an old person. They take care of their stuff. Let me tell you, they do the maintenance every time it needs done. They do the tires and all that stuff every time it needs done. Anything that gets that needs done on a vehicle, usually old people are on top of it, because that's all they have, right? That's all they have to look forward to is their car. So let them buy them new, get it when they trade it in, and just read the Carfax, make sure it's good. But that's just my little tip for buying a car if you want to buy a car. Because I bought brand new cars before, and they are nice to have, but dealing with all that extra BS that the dealership tries to sell you, the maintenance and all that warranty crap that you have to stay up on, it's just not worth it. And the money right now, the vehicles are just too expensive. So just buy them used, get a good one, and just check over everything. But got the car a couple weeks ago, got the driveway done a month or two ago. It's been a while since that's been done. Um, Other little miscellaneous things that have been done. Um, what else? Oh, another thing I did before we got the driveway done. I'll show you this. This is pretty cool. But we got a water line ran from the water softener in the house to the shop. So that way I can put a sink out here, and then I can put like a garden hose on it, and I can clean the shop, because this, being out here in the country, everybody, it gets really, really dirty. And since I haven't been out here for a long time, it's super, super dirty. I have not had time to clean anything. Most of the time I've been out here, I've been doing oil changes. Um, so it's super dirty. So I'm got to finish that, get a sink for it, and get it all plumbed up. That way I can actually have water out here, because it is ran from the house, and it is right off the water softener. So that's really, really awesome to have that. I'm excited to have that. That wasn't cheap either, but it needed to be done in my opinion, especially in the summertime. If I'm like wet sanding a car or anything like that, or if I need to wash my hands from working out here, I can do it and not run back and forth to the house. So I just need to get a sink, get it plumbed and all that stuff. We'll get that done. And then the other couple big things I've been doing is, car wise, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I have an SRT4 Neon. A lot of people hate them. I've had this car for a while. I actually got rid of my Hellcat to get this thing. Not to get it, like I had to get rid of the Hellcat. This is what I got after I got rid of the Hellcat. Last video I made on this car, I bought a built head for it. What happened was I ended up putting the head on the motor, got it tuned, had a little bit of issues with it from the tuner. It kept fouling out spark plugs. So just me searching on, Facebook Marketplace, and came across a fully built block, a high compression motor for really stupid cheap. That was brand new still. That has not been used. So I jumped on it, bought it, got it shipped to me, and pretty much what I did was I took the motor back apart again, gutted pretty much the engine bay all over again. It's all in pieces again, guys. It's all. I'm on it eventually. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, to be honest with you. Being me, I would love to strip all this out like I did last time and repaint this, because I did scratch it here in a couple places. Will I see that when the motor's in? That one you will. There's a couple of them that you won't, though. But my goal with this car is to repaint it, do all the body work. I'll get all the scratches and stuff fixed on it, do all the body work on it that needs to be done, sand it all down, gut it all apart, and paint it with the engine bay. That way the engine bay is going to be matching the outside of the car and all the graphics and stuff, whatever I want to do with it. That's the goal. Now I have been beating in my head whether to do that or not. I've thought about just leaving it like this, throwing the motor back in it, because the motor's all together. Like it's just sitting over here. It's a full long block. Um, I mean it's a fully built high compression motor. The head came off of an old race car that did 8.9 1/4 mile. So this thing will make some power as long as you got the fuel and the turbo to back it up. It will make power. So I've debated on just throwing that back in there, and then going around and making the car actually look like a patina paint job, and making rust and making it look kind of cool in that way. Or just putting it back in there and leaving it for a year or whatever, because I do have another car that I'm working on. If you've seen it, you've probably seen the old videos of it. I have not talked about it for a very long time, but I have been working on it. So I've thought about just putting this back the way it was, put it in there, and getting it running and just enjoying it. But I also have the turbo kit and the motor for sale. I know I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere on this car. I don't really know. I'm just trying to figure out time-wise, because I do have two cars I'm doing at once, the Neon and the Civic. And the Civic is about in worse shape than the Neon is. The Neon I can get, if I want to just throw everything back in there the way it was and get it dyno tuned, it would be running and driving. I could drive it. But if I tear it all down and get it all painted again, it's going to be in the same state as the Civic. The Civic is gutted. It's in its bodywork stage. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do and what kind of time I want to spend on this stuff, because I don't have a lot of time. And that's the thing. I just don't have a lot of time. So I'm trying to, if I could sell the motor and the turbo kit on it, that's 11 grand worth of stuff. I mean, 11 grand is a lot of money. I have a lot of money wrapped up in this engine bay. This engine bay alone, by itself, just the engine bay, everything I've done to it motor wise and the engine bay wise to get it to run, I've got about $16,000 wrapped up in this thing. So me thinking about it, I don't need the money, but it would free up some space. It would free up some funds for me to dump into the Civic, because I don't think I can build two cars at once. If I'm going to completely change this thing and make it a full-blown show car the way I want to do it, I probably won't have enough time to work on the Civic as well. And to me, sorry, the video cut out, but I just don't have enough time to dump all my effort into one or the other. So if I want to do this whole Neon thing, make it a full-blown show car, gut it down, and do a whole new paint job to where it's like damn near perfect on every aspect, put the motor in here, get it tuned, and just make it a show car the way I want to do it, I won't have time to invest into the Civic that I want to do. To me, the Civic is a little bit more important to me personally than Neon. So if I can get some money out of it, I can keep the shell, redo the shell whenever I get around to it, and I still have the factory engine for this thing. It's sitting over there. It's in pieces. I still have the factory motor, so I can always rebuild that motor after I get this done. That's just my thinking, right? I'm always moving stuff around, trying to get things done faster than what I can. But at the end of the day, this car, to me personally, is more important. It's more, I guess I should say it's more special to me, because this is the car that I had when I first got my driver's license. So we're going to go over this real quick. It's a 2000 Civic with a 98 to 96 front end on it, because of the bumper I had on it, and the hood and the headlights. Everything has changed. The fenders are for 96 and 98, but it is a 2000. So the interior is all a 2000. All that stuff is a 2000. But recently, the last few weeks, I mean, it's probably been a month. I shouldn't say the last few weeks, but the last month or so, we recently just got the body kit in for it. So if you have watched my videos, I ordered this kit last September, over a year ago, and I thought I was never going to get it because you cannot call them. You don't, when you send an email, you don't get anybody. It's just there is no communication. Once you put your order in, there's no communication at all. So I ordered all this stuff from VIS Racing. So if you're interested in buying stuff for, like body kit wise or accessories for your Honda or whatever car you have, I want to say this. You can go ahead and buy it. I would trust that you're going to get your stuff. It's just you're not going to have any communication, but you'll eventually get it. Just don't put a timeline on it, but you are going to get your stuff. Now, there are a lot of things that I've been told by some people that VIS Racing does have in stock. So if you get lucky and you order something that's in stock, you're probably going to get it pretty quickly. But if you're going to order something and they need to make it, who knows when you're going to get it, right? So I thought they took my money and ran. I put this order in over a year ago, last September, and it just showed up exactly a year from the day that I ordered it. I don't know if they planned that out or what, but it's just the way it happened. I am glad that I got it because I honestly, with having a kid and being focused on that, I actually gave up on this car. I was like, I let it sit in the corner. I didn't mess with it at all. I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm not going to try to rebuild it. I've got too much time and effort into it already. It will just sit here until I'm ready to mess with it again. Because that was about $1,300 that I thought they took. So it left a really bad taste in my mouth. Just for a body kit. Side skirts, front bumper, and rear bumper. So that's a lot of money, and I was over it because I had already spent a lot of money on other things. Having a kid is not cheap either; it's really expensive. So paying for all that with cash, and then having this happen, it just left a sour taste in my mouth, and I was over it. So, but luckily, I got an email one day saying, "Hey, there's a shipment from this company coming to your house on this day. It does require a signature." So I had to be home for that day, and lo and behold, all this stuff, all the body kit pieces was in one box. So I was really surprised, but I was also really excited. So I jumped on this thing again. I got it out from it was back here. I got it out from the corner. I put it on jack stands. So what we got going on here is the rear bumper is actually pretty cool. This is the Blitz style rear bumper. I think they call it the Battle Z from VIS. But the one thing cool, if you're not a Honda guy, you won't notice it. But if you are, you already know what I'm talking about because you see it. They took I'm pretty sure it's the Japanese style EK rear bumper and used that as the mold to make this bumper. That's why you see these moldings molded in here. A lot of people like this. To me, this was all flush in the picture. This was not supposed to be there. I was kind of disappointed at first because I wanted it to be all smooth. I did not want this molding to be wrapped around because it will change the look of the car. Because I was going to shave my door and quarter moldings that match this. I was going to shave those off the car and make it all smooth and weld it all shut. But since this has come now with this molding on the bumper, I do not want to take this out. I want to leave it so it's going to match the moldings on the car. So kind of changed plans a little bit because of that. But I've got this rear bumper. This is the Blitz style Battle Z. And then the side skirts are the Black Widow side skirts. And the front bumper, this is, I believe, the Tracer 2 bumper, which is a really unique bumper. You don't really see it that often. I went back and forth whether to use my xenon bumper, because the xenon bumper is not fiberglass, it's actually poly. So it folds, you can bend it, you can run over it, it won't damage it at all. It's just a really, really stupid expensive bumper, and I've ran it for many years. So I thought I'd switch it up on this and get this bumper, because this bumper, I like it just as much. I really like it because the grill is all molded into it. It fits pretty decent, the bumper does. Obviously, it needs some work, some fiberglass work to get it perfect to match the hood and everything. Because like the grill area, it just doesn't match really well through here. And it just needs to get aligned better with the headlights and things like that. But the fenders, it sticks out a little bit, so we'll do some shaving through here. But the bumper is the best part of this. It came out the best, which I'm really happy about. The side skirts are they need some work. You got to cut them to make them fit anyways. I just haven't got that far. But they do need a lot of body work to make straight. But the rear bumper is a nightmare. It may look good, but when you start running your hand across it, and I've already test fitted it multiple times, it is bowed out on this side just a little bit. So I'm going to have to cut somewhere on the back side of this, probably somewhere in here, make a relief cut to where I can bend this back with heat, and then see where it's at, because it comes out, what it does is when you put the tire on it, it just comes out from the tire a little bit, and it needs to be like in line with the tire and in line with the side skirt. So that modification that I need to do, and also the body work on this, it's not really straight back here. So I'm going to be doing body work to all this stuff when I get it all. But the one thing I've been working on are these rear brackets for the rear bumper. And I honestly just got done putting these on here. I am doing this because the factory rear brackets to this car, they were rusted out really, really bad. So I had to cut them off. It's just it's actually two big strips that go from side to side, from the middle to the outside. And then this sits on top of it and hooks into it. And then there's push pins that hold all this down. So I am recreating my own brackets here. So what I have done is I have mocked the bumper up, made my marks from where the top of the bumper is going to sit to be flush with everything, as good as it can be, all the way across and to the sides. And then I marked my holes to where they need to be, drilled holes out for all these brackets and bolts. And then I put nut certs inside these to have these brackets be bolted onto the car. So once I have test fitted this bumper enough to know that it's going to fit perfectly with the deck lid and with the rear tail lights and the quarter and all that. See the little nut cert, just the nut cert in there, nothing special. I'm going to, once it fits the way I want it to, I'm going to take the bumper off, and these metal brackets I'm going to weld onto the car just like the factory one was. They're just individual brackets. They're not one big span. But I will weld these on here, and I'll cut them to where I need to be, drill any holes to make these fit new pins, and that will be the new bracket. So a little bit of customization. If you don't or haven't used a nut insert, these things will save you a lot of time. They will make a lot of things easier, and they will clean up a lot of unnecessary junk on your car and make it much more simpler, especially in your engine bay. You can do a lot of nut certs on things that don't need to be there for bolts and things like that to clean up a lot of your stuff in your engine bay. Just a little bit of a pointer out there. If you are modifying cars or working on cars and things like that, nut inserts are great. Or if you have a bracket that is just rusted, like this car has a ton of brackets I got to do in the engine bay that's just rusted, I'm going to pretty much grind them off, drill new holes, put nut certs in them with bolts, call it done. It's so much easier. It looks really good. It looks factory. It cleans a lot of stuff up without a lot of headache. But that's where I'm at right now, guys. Is this rear bumper is gonna be a lot of work. Doing anything with fiberglass, it's a lot of work. It's not just a bolt-on part. If you get lucky enough and get something good enough to where you can just bolt it on and go, then kudos to you, but it doesn't work like that. These fiberglass pieces are made in production molds, and they pop them out so fast with a lot of heat, and they just warp, and they do a bunch of weird stuff, and they're really not straight. So just take that with what you will when you order this stuff. Just know you are going to have a lot of time into the bodywork part of it, getting it to fit. You know, if you send it to your paint shop or your painter, they're going to have a ton of time getting it painted. That's a lot of work to get this stuff looking the way it should. But to me, in the end, it's worth it because this is the stuff that I grew up with. So this is what we're building. And once I get the body kit fitted, I can finish, like I said, the body work on the bumpers, the side skirts, all that stuff can be sanded down and body worked. I had a little bit of a boo-boo here. This actually broke away from when I fixed it last time. So I'm going to have to weld this up and redo the bodywork right here with the bumper on it. I think the bumper just stressed it out because it was a tight fit and the angle wasn't the correct way. So that's what I'm going to have to do to that, which is not a big deal. I'll weld that up when I'm welding the rear brackets on or anything like that. So that's got to get fixed. But yeah, once I get the bumpers and the body kit fixed, I can jump on the engine bay. The engine bay is going to take a lot of work too. I'm not going to do a bunch of stuff to the engine bay. I just got a lot of cleaning up to do with the rust and the brackets, just to make sure everything's going to fit nicely and work. So just a lot of grinding and cutting. That's it. But once I get that bodywork stage out of the way, I can prime everything, and that's when it's going to be the fun part of like sanding all this down and choosing colors and things like that. Obviously the interior's been done for a while. It's all ready to be final sanded. So that'll be a whole thing. When we pick the outside of the color of the car, we'll pick the inside of the color to match it. It's just a lot of stuff going on at once, guys. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of update. I appreciate the ones that have stuck by. If you see this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. And like I said, I'll be uploading videos when I upload videos. So don't, think I'm going to do a time-lapse video on this car every step of the way. Because if you've done videos, you know they take a lot of time. And anything as far as this stuff goes, it takes a lot of time to invest your time into it. A lot of money to do it as well. So if I have time to come out here and just bust stuff out without video taping it or recording it, if I should say, then I'm sorry, but I can always go over it. If you guys have any questions, just post them down in the comments. I'll get to you when I can. But other than that, that's just a little life update, a little shop update. I'll try to post more stuff. If you have anything you want to learn or anything you're working on, you have any questions, don't hesitate to post a comment on a video below, or you can message me. I think you can message me if you follow my handle. It's pretty much the same on my Facebook and Instagram page. You can always message me there. Just don't expect me to get back to you that second. I'll get to you when I get to it, because I am very, very, very busy right now. So I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.